Hey, so this is weird. It seems that Donald Trump doesn't understand the concept of per capita. For the last 10 days or so, Trump keeps bragging about how much the US is testing for the virus. And every time he does, he's ignoring the concept of per capita, or at least we thought he was ignoring the concept of per capita because it wasn't politically convenient. But based on yesterday's press conference, I'm increasingly thinking Trump doesn't understand what per capita means. Per capita, of course, is when you adjust numbers for the size of a population. So if I say to you, the United States and Colombia both gave away $100 million to people in stimulus money. Per capita in the US, that's 29 cents per person. In Colombia, it's $2 per person because Colombia and the US have different populations. If we say, we did 1 million coronavirus tests and South Korea did 500,000, might sound like we did more, but per capita, South Korea did way more because South Korea's population is much smaller than ours. We have 340 million people in the US. South Korea has about 50 million people. So check this out. Yesterday, reporter Yamiche Alcindor asked Trump about this, and Trump says, we're testing more than anyone. And Yamiche raises the issue of per capita, and Trump doesn't seem to get it. He wrongly states the population of Seoul, South Korea. He talks about how we have rural areas in the United States, and it only gets funnier. And by funnier, I mean more tragic because we laugh to avoid crying in these difficult times. Take a look at the first part of the video.
Mr. President, you said several times that the United States has ramped up testing, but the United States is still not testing per capita as many people as other countries like South Korea. Why is that, and when do you think that number will be on par with other countries?
Yeah, well,
and
it's very much on par. Look, per capita, we have areas of country that's very wide. I know South Korea better than anybody. It's a very tight. Do you know how many people are in Seoul? Do you know how big the city of Seoul is? 38 million people.
Okay, so that's like 10 seconds from Trump. And there are just so many things to look at there. Trump mentions, hey, but hold on a second. We have rural areas in the United States, and Seoul, South Korea is really dense. Per capita accounts for the population. That's the point of per capita. Trump is acting like the fact that we have rural areas means we are testing more per capita. No, we're talking about how much are we testing relative to the population, which includes rural areas and densely populated areas. Yamiche is at least trying to talk about per capita. Then Trump says he knows South Korea better than anyone, which is another one of those hyperbolic lies. But then again, immediately he misstates the population of Seoul, saying Seoul has a population of 38 million. For a guy who knows the most about South Korea, it's weird not to know the population of Seoul. So it didn't sound right when Trump said 38 million. I looked it up. Seoul's population is only 9 million, almost 10 million. So I thought, well, maybe Trump was referring to the metro area, the Seoul metro area, but that's only 25 million. So I thought, well, maybe Trump meant all of South Korea has 38 million. But no, as I mentioned earlier, South Korea has about 51 million people. So then, and this is just too funny, if you Google Seoul, South Korea, this quick facts thing pops up and it says 38M, but that's the elevation of Seoul, 38 meters above sea level or 125 feet. Is it possible Trump is confusing population and elevation? Or is he just a moron who doesn't know anything and South Korea is he's not actually an expert in South Korea and he doesn't understand the concept of per capita? Maybe that's the most likely explanation. You be the judge. Here's the rest of the back and forth with journalist Yamiche Alcindor.
That's bigger than anything we have. 38 million people, all tightly wound together. We have vast farmlands. We have vast areas where they don't have much of a problem. In some cases, they have no problem whatsoever. We have done more tests. I didn't talk about per capita. We have done more tests by far than any country in the world, by far. Our testing is also better than any country in the world.
So again, Trump talking about how, hey, but we have rural areas. But again, per capita accounts for the total population and the number of tests adjusted to the size of that population. Imagine having a president If you ever feel like you just don't have enough time to read all the books you want to read, you have to check out one of my favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist takes thousands of popular nonfiction books and distills each one down into an ebook or audiobook that you can get through in just 15 minutes, where you're getting all the key takeaways from the book. Just imagine how you'll be able to expand your horizons and knowledge by being able to soak up all of the important insights from 10 different books in an afternoon. Obviously, it's perfect for exposing yourself to a new book you otherwise wouldn't have time for, or you can use it to revisit a book you've already read, or use it to preview a book before you buy the full version and read it. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.